Happy Thursday, everybody. How's everybody doing on this fine Thursday?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I got a live stream later, so I'm not
That's
stressed. I
good.
don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it's time to take a break and welcome everybody to episode 4 of Media Club. It's where all of us here at Introduce Multimedia get to nerd out about what we're doing and what we're watching or listening to or stuff like that. So, welcome to this episode. I'm Paul Schmidt. I'm the owner and creative video strategist for this lovely team. And I will start with James. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
James.
I'm over
James.
here. Yeah.
James.
Hi, I'm James. I'm the creative live stream alchemist for Unoduce Multimedia, and I do all the live stream stuff. Not to say that I don't also do video stuff, because I do both, but primarily live stream with a minor in video. And now it's that guy's turn.
I'm Nick. I'm the creative video architect here at Introduce. So I do all of the videos, the regular videos, not the live streams. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, and if you guys want to know a little bit more about what they're doing, let's head on over to our first section. What we're working on.
Told you I'd get better at the timing on that.
That's okay. I guess maybe I got to do a better cue. So anyway, what we're working on. So what? There's a lot of stuff that we're working on, but what do we want to focus on today? Let's start with Nick. What do you want to focus on something that you're working on?
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk about Davies Project today because it's super fresh. I literally just shot there today. Um, so we're working on a video for the Davies Project. They're a nonprofit here in Lansing that provides transportation to families, to different hospitals and medical places, either here in Lansing or in Grand Rapids, Ann Arbor. Um, so they have all these drivers that volunteer, and they go and they pick up the families and they drive them to their appointments. So today we interviewed like 8 different drivers. So we got a bunch of their perspectives, like why they volunteered, how they hear about Davies projects, what do they really get from volunteering, things like that. So that was really cool. We've done videos for them in the past. We do like their live stream every year. So yes, this is a new video we're making for them, and yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Oops. Well, what is the video exactly? What is the story you're going to be telling with with all these interviews?
Yeah, so this one's just really focused on the drivers, and it'll be something that they can use during their like driver orientation, and just kind of get drivers' perspective on why, what kind of things they'll be doing, why you might want to become a driver, and then we're gonna get kind of like a day in the life kind of um, field, like a section of it where we film a driver doing their thing and picking up a patient. We haven't filmed that yet, but that's eventually what we're gonna film. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I think that's one unique aspect about Davies, and one thing that's, I mean, they're just a unique nonprofit, and it's like one of those nonprofits that's supplying a need that a lot of people don't think about, and that's the really, because it's like, everybody's like, well, Uber or Lyft. No, this is a little bit um, more involved with that, because the drivers actually create and develop relationships with the people that they transport, and it's not only that, you don't have to pay. I mean, this is a service that's donor funded, or it's just really a really cool thing, and I'm excited to see how this orientation shakes out. But We got another thing we're working on, and that will be James. What are we focusing on in your world today?
So today I'm focusing on my live stream. This whole week I'm pretty focused on this live stream. It's the live stream of the week. And it is for CASA, which stands for Court Appointed Special Advocacy. And tonight's their annual gala, and we will have pretty much the full crew there. I think Nick gets the night off, but we have Kat, George, Paul, and myself. So we'll all be there. And it's a gala, fundraiser, and auction all in one. So it's pretty involved. And then I know you're going to ask me, well, what do you normally do leading into these things? So for things like this, I normally have to, right after I meet with the client initially, I pretty much have to always get in touch with one, if not multiple, rental companies for additional gear that we don't always carry year-round. So, for instance, we started as a video production crew, right? So we have a couple lavaliers, but we don't have handheld wireless mics. So I have to get those. We have lighting for our on-the-run style, but not for giant productions and events, so I have to rent those. And staging, we don't carry any staging. You could look at Paul's video. That's our office right now. we ain't got room for staging. But so I go through the rental agencies, and then I also meet with the client months in advance. Like, I think the earliest I've had a meeting with a client is Boys and Girls Club this year, and they wanted to meet. They locked down their date for October in February. And so now I've met with them, and we're moving forward there, but I don't even have monthly meetings with them yet. But that's normally how I do it, is I start with monthly meetings, then bi-weekly, then weekly as we lead into it. Just to make sure we're all on the same page. Sometimes the meetings are 5 minutes, sometimes they're an hour long. It just depends on what's changing, or if anything's changing. I also do a site survey, sometimes multiple, to make sure we can live stream their event without a hitch. In the case of CASA, tonight's live stream, I've become very familiar with MSU FCU, both Headquarters 1 and Headquarters 2. I've had to go back and forth, because they have an interesting case. I can't get the audio signal from them because they are a financial institution, so they don't allow anybody to jack into their stuff, which I get, but it just creates a headache until we figured it out, which George is our audio tech. I will always and forever talk up George because he's amazing, and we figured it out. Not going to be a problem. But after site surveys, rentals, lots of meetings, I end up building the entire event in our software, and then we're ready. So tonight, we're going to show up 2 to 4 hours before the event, depending on the load-in schedule. Actually, we show up at 2, which is in like 2 hours. Less than 2 hours. And then set everything up and give it a final test before we go live. And then once we go live, it's done, right? Because I've already tested everything. Once we're actually live, I just have to follow my script. I follow my script, they follow their script, and the event's going to go off without a hitch. And tonight's is going to be good. I'm actually pretty excited about it. I found out that one of the auction items is a live cat kitten, which I don't know if I'm supposed to spoil, so I didn't say that. But I'm excited, man.
We gotta, before you talk about it, you gotta preface it with a spoiler. Spoiler alert. We probably should have a graphic that says.
I didn't say what kind of cat.
It doesn't matter. You said cat.
That's true. But I also said cat was going to be there, so I could be talking about. No, that's weird. Nope.
Yeah, I was like, we're not auctioning off our employee or coworker.
No.
That sounds weird.
Yeah.
So
anyway, that's CASA. I'm excited about it. It's tonight. I'm not nervous. You're nervous.
Yeah. So that's another thing is it's like we've done a ton of these auction style events. However, we're really getting the hang of these auction style live streams. And so we've done several of them over the past couple of years. And we're just looking forward to having another one that's just going to be another outstanding production from us. So I'm excited for this as well. So
Yeah.
looking forward to the whole thing.
I know it may seem as though I'm anxious, everyone, but I kind of am. That's just how it works for me. It's because I'm not there already. Once I'm there, it's fine. But like the wait, the anticipation, when I'm like, okay, I gotta get this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that, that's what gets me. But once I'm there, solid.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with live. That's the whole thing with live. It is about that moment, but when it's over, it's over.
It's over.
But it's all that prep, all that work that goes into it to make sure that it goes off without a hitch. But speaking of spoilers, yeah, that's a terrible segue. Let's talk about what are the things that we're doing and watching and paying attention to media wise outside of Uno Deuce. All right. So here's a variety of different media aspects that have our attention outside. So, but let us start with Nick. Nick's got a game that he wants to talk about. I believe it's a game. This is the old guy talking. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cool. Yeah, so this week I'm going to talk about Returnal. It is a video game for PlayStation 5. I was able to finally get a PS5 like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't know if anybody knows anything about them. They're really hard to get. There's been like the chip shortage and supply chain and a lot of reasons why they're hard to find. But I was able to get one at like Target at like 7 a.m. because I'm insane. So yes, started playing Returnal. It's a third-person roguelike shooter. It's developed by Housemarque Games, published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. You play Celine. You're an Astra scout. You're like an astronaut, space lady. So at the start of the game, you wake up on this planet. You're like crash landed. You don't really know what's going on, so you like explore, and there's crazy looking enemies, and you're getting all these new weapons, and then eventually you die, and then you come back, and then you basically do the same thing over again. So so the game, you're essentially stuck in a time loop. But it's really addictive because slowly you're. What was that?
Nothing. I said Groundhog Day.
Okay. But yeah. So slowly you're uncovering more and more about the story, about how you're trapped there, like what's going on, and you're like upgrading your weapons and getting all this new equipment, and yeah. So I think I'm like halfway through right now. I just beat the third boss. The boss I just beat has like big Kingdom Hearts vibes. I know James knows what I'm talking about, but yeah, it's it's super addictive. Basically every night I've been playing it, and just like it's just super good. Like it's super hard too, but it's definitely relaxing because I just focus on this game. Don't have to focus about anything else. But yeah, it also takes advantage of the PS5 controller has like really cool like haptics and audio. So like the controller will be like vibrating in these crazy ways, and like yelling sounds at you. And sometimes I'll be playing next to Lexi, and like it'll be late, and like it'll like kind of like startle her because it'll just like start vibrating crazily. But yeah, so that's what I want to talk about. Returnal, super good game.
So have you finished it? Or are you still in the midst of?
No, yeah, I'm like halfway through, I think. There's like six different worlds, so I'm on the fourth world right now. So yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Have you played this game?
No, I've seen a speedrun of it where the dude beat the entire game in like 20 minutes, but that's about it.
Was that sped up?
No, it was glitchy, but not sped up.
he,
He just
I'm trying to think
plays
of
the
what
game a
he.
lot. Let me double check my facts here.
Yeah.
Speedrun
Fact check.
Returnal.
You gotta fact check James.
The fastest is currently 46. Nope, 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. Glitchless. So that's fun. 42 minutes for a fresh file. So I probably watched one of the
Is that what the?
glitchless ones before.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, because like I feel like fresh save is probably way longer, right?
Yeah, that's 42 minutes for the world record
But
holder.
yeah, James, you would like the game though.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because you said you
Yeah.
got a PS5. Did you get Demon's Souls?
No, I know I need to. I got Ratchet and Clank, Bit Returnal, and Deathloop. So yeah.
Deathloop's a good game. It's very similar to Returnal.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I noticed that a lot of Medium is really looking at all this weird multiverse type stuff lately.
Time loop.
And yeah, it's just like time or multiverse. It seems to be the trend in a lot of different mediums. Um, so, segue real quick if you haven't seen it, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Highly recommend that movie, but I'm not going to be talking about that today. Anyway, James, go ahead. What's got your attention?
So it's a show I just finished, actually. It's called Heels. It's about wrestlers. Paul gave me crap for watching this show. Just want to put that out there. But to be fair, when I first watched the first episode, right after it aired, I was like, this is not good. I don't want to watch this. And then I gave it another shot, like after the whole season finished airing. And here's my thoughts. It's another show on Stars, and I know I've been talking about Stars shows a lot lately, but this show is good, trashy fun, and I'm gonna recommend it. I mean, if you are a fan of wrestling at any point in your life, and by wrestling I don't mean like the actual sport of wrestling, I mean pro wrestling with like Hulk Hogan or Macho Man or Undertaker or anything from the WWF to WCW to WWE. I don't even know what they all are anymore.
Yeah.
Then this show is probably something you'd probably like. It stars Stephen Amell, hot off of Green Arrow, right? He's right there. He plays Jack Spade. Nope, over there. He's over there.
Yeah.
But he plays Jack Spade, which is like the biggest heel in the league. Heels and faces are like the main thing. Heels are bad guys that you root against. Faces are good guys that you want to win. His co-star is Alexander Ludwig, who is also on the poster. He plays Ace Spade. He's a face at some points. And I've never seen him in anything before, but I was pleasantly surprised by his acting. But I think my standouts from this show aren't the main characters at all. Because honestly, this show got to the point where I was watching the main characters and going, yeah, I get it. Where's the side characters at? Because they're way cooler and way better written. So any scene that had Kelly Berglund, Chris Bauer, or Mike O'Malley in it was just like my scenes. But there's a lot more people than that in it. The cast list is huge. But I need to give a synopsis. So it follows the Duffy Wrestling League from Duffy, Georgia, which is right next to Florida. I don't know if it's real or not. I know the Wrestling League isn't. I don't know if the town's fake. But they call it the DWL. And the show takes up 1 year after the founder of the league has committed suicide. That would be Jack Spade and Ace Spade's father, King Spade, who was like the biggest face of all faces. And the show kind of like examines their lives in the after fact while still trying to do the wrestling thing, tension with their family, intergenerational trauma, which is in literally everything I watch now. I don't know why, but it's a big part of everything. Yeah. So I would say it's very Friday Night Lights-esque. in the fact that like it all builds into the game, right? So like you get all the background drama in Friday Night Lights, and then it always has at least one football game per episode, right? Same thing here. You always get a wrestling match, but you also get all the drama surrounding the wrestling match. And there's only 8 episodes, so it's like 8 hours, but it was really good. Oh, also Mary McCormick's in it, and I like her a lot. Her character's really good.
So what made you give this another chance?
I saw that it had a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics.
Really?
Yeah, it's like critically acclaimed.
That is pretty high. I mean, I like the fact that Stephen Amell was able to bounce back from Arrow and getting out of Arrow. I was kind of worried that he wasn't going to go anywhere, especially what was he in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot?
Was he in one of those?
Yeah, he plays Casey Jones.
Oh.
Which, I mean, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like I can't really speak to his like acting ability, but he definitely has like a presence. Like,
oh, it's really good in Heels. He's got
always,
a really good role. This is a really good role
good.
for him to expand his chops, honestly.
Yeah.
Also, a thing about this show, literally all of their problems could be solved if any of them went to therapy, but they refuse because of toxic masculinity.
Yeah, well, that's funny. That's funny. Pro therapy television show. Well, as for Stephen Amell's acting chops, if there's any consolation to that, watching all the seasons of Arrow that I did, he was probably one of the better actors out of the whole. I mean, I know the bar is a little low, but you know, but he was solid. He was solid. So anyway, all right. Well, that's cool. Heels.
Yeah,
Jim gives it a thumbs up. That's good. That's
I do.
Good.
What'd you do, Paul? What'd you watch or listen to or read or play?
Well, I'm going to talk about a podcast. The podcast is, as you can see the graphic, or if you can't see, if you're listening to this, it's Grim and Mild presents the Sideshow, which Grim and Mild was a production company that produces several of the podcasts that I like to listen to because it blends two of my favorite aspects that I like to dive into, history and the supernatural / paranormal. So in other words, it's more or less, it's not always supernatural / paranormal, but it dives deep into the darker aspects of our history. And this is one of the shows that they have that I like to listen to. And this one is obviously really focused on the history of the Sideshow. And so it's an anthology, basically, in which they talk about different aspects, different people, like P.T. Barnum, obviously. He was an episode, or Tom Thumb. And, he was a person that was actually brought into the Sideshow by P.T. Barnum and other folks like I'm losing his name, but the guy who the film The Elephant Man was based on, John Merrick. So they did an episode on him. And one of the things that I like about how they do these things is this, like, they do two different stories within the podcast. They'll have a main story, and then they'll go to a break, and then they'll do like a little mini story that kind of like tags on, either expands the story a little bit, or it's like an adjacent thing. So I really like the way they do it. I think it's produced well, it's researched well, and it's fun. And it's like, you learn a little bit more about the history of this thing, about little nuggets that you didn't realize. And it's just, and this is, like I said, this is only a 13 episode season. So I don't know what, this is brand new. This is the first season for this show. It started in January. And so yeah, it's really, really interesting. And I like this production company. Like I said, I listened to several of their different podcasts. They started with lore. That was the very first one they did. And then they have another one that I like called American Shadows. And then they do another deep dive called Unobscured. That's where they take a topic, like they deep dive into a certain topic. The last one they did was on Jack the Ripper. So they did a 13 episode season on that. I think that was the last one. There's been 3 or 4, so I might have skipped one, but the Jack the Ripper one was really good. And the other one was another one was on spiritualism, which was a huge religious movement starting in the late 19th century. Anyway, I'm getting off track, but this is a really cool podcast that I like to listen to. So if you like history and you like the darker aspects of history and the little nuggets of people that you've heard of or didn't know much about, this is a good podcast to listen to. Or you want to know a little bit of background on how things are, or how things ended up the way they are. I really recommend this production company, Grim and Mild, and on their several podcasts that they do. So yeah, that's what I'm listening to. And now we're going to talk a little bit more about our last category of the Duceys, which is most outstanding video of the year. So this is our last Ducey category, and it's already heating up the competition. Competition is going bananas for this one too. So let's deep dive into the ones, into the nominees really quick. So we have Vision Computer Solutions and their overview video. Vision Computer Solutions is out of Novi. Opportunity Arts, the Aces are here. That's an interesting video that I was able to help out with. CASA for Kids, Campaign to Care. In fact, like James was saying, we're doing their live stream tonight for this year, but this is for last year's or the year before's fundraiser. All the Above Hip Hop Academy, about their promotional video we did as part of a grant with Lake Trust. And Child and Family Charities, the Resilience Award winner, she's known, her stage name is Nat Spins, but she was a huge, her story was pretty powerful. So what do you think, guys? I know that I'm kind of partial to one because I put a lot of work into it, which I don't typically do. But I was able to pull something together there because I was like, yeah, I want to do this. So I did, but I'm not. So what do you guys think?
I'm a bit biased here. I only edited on 2 of these, so I'm a bit biased there. So it's gonna be between those 2 for me.
Well, who are those 2?
Casa, because that was actually a joint edit with me and Nick, because so that was at the end of 2020, which the cutoff for the Ducey Awards is weird. Yeah. But Nick had a baby, and I had to finish that.
Well,
so it's between that one for me and All of the Above, and it's between those 2 because All of the Above is really cool, man. Plus, I edited that. That was my edit. So, who doesn't want their video to get an award?
I don't know. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I don't know. I like the All the Above video. It'd be cool if the 4 Aces won because they're awesome, and Paul did a lot for that. That was cool. And then Vision too, I think would be cool to win because that was one that I think turned out pretty good. But yeah, probably one of those 3.
Now Nick is being a little modest. The Vision Computer Solutions video turned out outstanding, and in fact, you guys, Yeah, everybody should go watch these,
Mm-hmm.
which is on our website. It's a Ducey Awards. It's on introduce.com/Ducey Awards 2022. So, you can vote for them, you can watch them. But I mean, I really liked Casa. I liked all of them. I really liked how the Child and Family Charities one went. The story was just outstanding. The visuals of
Oh, wait.
all
I
the
think I
above.
edited that one too.
Yeah, Casa was powerful. A lot of the imagery was really 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 good. And it's crazy though. While we've been talking about this I keep getting notifications that people have voted. So that's pretty sweet. So yeah, I mean I just think that I think I chose pretty well for these nominees. And the aces were difficult because this is actually the fifth out of five videos,
Mm-hmm.
but the individuals I don't think could be separated out, and I didn't want them to dominate an entire category. So I felt like this was a good culmination, and it was a lot of fun to do. And it's like I said, it's not something that I get a chance to do very often anymore. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. So, yeah, so that would probably be my choice. I am biased. That would be my
I
pick.
feel like
But
all three of us are biased in this case.
yeah, I think so. I mean, I really liked all of them, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
it was hard. It's going to be hard to vote. So I'm sorry. I'm just going to leave it for the public. I'm leaving it for you all to decide, not me. I don't need to decide at all. So, and just so you know, Ducey Award voting for this one ends on Sunday. So you have Sunday at midnight to finish your voting. Uh, the winners will be selected on this live stream 1 week from today. So next Thursday at noon, it will probably be a little bit of a longer live stream because we're going to go through the nominees and tally the votes prior, obviously. And not only will we reveal who the winner is, we will have the winner on to talk about their video. So, well, if they can make it. So hopefully somebody or a representative will be able to make it to our live stream and we can just chat with them a little bit about how this whole process went, just for 5 minutes. And you guys can ask whatever you want about how they felt about how you did for their videos. So yeah. So don't forget, everybody, right here next week at noon, tune in to see the winners of this award. So I'm excited for it as usual. So any parting words, Nick, James?
I don't know if I have any,
Um,
man. You kind of said it all.
Don't be afraid to go to therapy.
Yeah, true. Also, Heel's got a second season. I don't know if I said that. They're
Well,
filming right now.
96% Rotten Tomatoes rating. They better have gotten a second season because they
Yeah.
earned it. They earned it. In which another one of the shows that I picked earlier in the month, Winning Time, they just got greenlit for a second season.
Our Flag Means Death still has not been renewed as of right now. And I'm upset about that.
Well, yeah, we shall see. We shall see. But next week, everybody, be here to see the winners, and that will preempt our regular format for the show. We'll start right in on the Ducey Awards because we got the interviews and such. So we don't want to go too long. So, all right. Well, we'll see you next week, and see you guys, you two, later.
Yeah, see you at Casa. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.